You came and you watched one of my sets, and afterwards we were talking.
I was note dumping like crazy.
Yeah.
You had a lot of thoughts, and it was very interesting. And it made me, I'll be honest with you, it made me spiral a little bit.
I hope you keep it in.
We're gonna keep it all in because this is the Asian Not Asian podcast.
Okay, cool.
The podcast with all your favorite Asian friends.
Woo!
I'm one of your hosts, Mike Nguyen.
And I'm the other host, Jenny
other
Arimoto. That was wild.
That was fun. You know why? It's because I went to karaoke yesterday.
Oh, you did?
Which is our birthright.
Yeah, but guess what? I've never done karaoke in New York.
Never?
Never.
It's pretty fun.
I feel like no one's invited me. I don't feel like it. I know it. So kind of everyone needs to take responsibility over that and invite me to your karaoke parties.
You hear that, everybody? Everybody, this is your fault.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay? We need listeners to come and invite Jenny to karaoke. We should do that. We should do Patreon exclusive karaoke hangout.
Yeah, I would love that.
That would be great.
I have no shame when it comes to karaoke.
What's the song? What's your song?
I like to do Shaggy's It Wasn't Me.
Oh, shit.
It feels like one that everyone can take part in,
Yeah.
you know? And it's like fun. Is it racist for me to do the voices?
Oh, no, I think you have to.
Okay, yeah. And so I like to like and it's also one that you don't need to be like really good at singing.
Oh, no.
So that's what I like about it. It's like mostly about energy.
It is. It also seems like one of those songs where when it first comes on, it'll be a little like divisive.
Yeah.
Because people be like, oh, I don't know the song. And then after a while, you're like, okay.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone always has fun.
Everybody, that's a
How
great
about
song.
yours?
Anything Britney Spears. Her songs
Classic.
are easy to sing, and they're just...
Drag her.
But because I love dancing,
Yeah.
so I'm just doing a lot of like, I don't have hair, but I'll do hair whip.
A hair.
I don't have a single hair, none at all. Anyways, this is the Asian Not Asian podcast with all your favorite Asian friends. We're doing the thing. We're doing the damn thing. If you want to come support the podcast, we're doing a lot of stuff coming up this next couple of weeks. We always have Hack City. The next Hack City is going to be February 10th. February 10th, which is a Friday. That's at Union Hall in Brooklyn. But I'm going to be at SF Sketchfest the week before. February 3rd and 4th, I will be at SF Sketchfest. I'm going to be doing 2 shows there, one with Asian AF and another show on Saturday. Actually, 2 shows on Saturday. So come check those out. The tickets for those are in the episode description. We also have a live podcast show that's going to be at Caveat. That's February 17th. So the 3 weekends in February, 3 chances to see us. February 3rd and 4th, Sketchfest. February 10th at Hack City. February 17th at Caveat. And that's going to be a live podcast. So go check all those out, and it'll be a good time. And if you want to support the podcast, as always, you can check out our Patreon. That's patreon.com/AsianNotAsianPod. And we bring you on the show in theory because we just talk about you.
Yeah.
And it's fun times.
Yeah, everyone wants attention. I do.
I think a lot of people don't want attention.
I know. That's what I'm really learning.
I'm learning that.
I mean, if like pre-therapy, I would have told you I don't want anyone to look at me or think about me. And now I'm like, I want everyone to be obsessed with me.
Yeah, you want to be a hot girl? What is the phrase you said?
What did I say?
You said you want to work on being hotter.
Yeah, I said every year one of my goals is to get hotter. Every year. Like, this started 4 years ago, and every year I'm like, and this year I will get hotter.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I'm doing.
That's great. I think that's great.
Thank you.
I think just saying I always want to be hotter, there's something to that, you know? I will tell you, the hottest I ever was, I'm pretty hot now.
Uh-huh.
Hottest I ever was, do you remember the American Apparel deep V-neck t-shirts?
Oh, yes, of course. There was a SNL sketch about it.
Oh, yes, that's right. Yo.
That was really an era. You look back and you go, oh, wow.
That was an era.
It was like, what, 2012?
No, way before that even.
Before?
2000, I would say 2008 to 2010.
Oh, okay, yeah. I mean, there was, the V-neck era lasted a while.
That was the era.
It might have been 2008 to 2012.
And let me tell you, your boy could wear a V-neck. Okay. I got the chest. Boom.
Were they from American Apparel?
They were from American
That's how
Apparel.
you know that's a cool boy stuff.
Is it?
Yeah. American Apparel was so cool.
Yeah.
I got drunk one time. Oh, my 21st birthday, I got drunk in the Haight in San Francisco.
Amen.
And then went to American Apparel and bought shorts. Which, like, for me at, like, 21, that was a splurge to spend, like, $50
It was
on
a lot.
shorts.
That's a lot of money.
I wore them once.
But you were probably super hot when you were wearing those
Bright
shorts.
red.
Boom.
High-waisted.
Were they like the disco
American
ones?
Apparel.
Do you know what I'm
No,
talking
the
about?
denim ones. I wish I was brave enough to wear the disco shorts.
I think you should go. American Apparel doesn't exist anymore, but you want to be hot? We're gonna get you into those disco shorts.
It's time.
And it's winter.
Yeah, it's winter and
It's
time.
perfect. Okay, you know who would look good in disco shorts?
Who?
Our guest.
I agree.
Boom. Let's bring our guest on to talk about all sorts of stuff. I got a great show this today. I'm very excited to talk about it. We're very excited to have our guest on here. He's a writer. He's a comedian. He's a married guy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know other things. I should have asked him what he wanted me to say, but it doesn't matter because he's here and it's going to be amazing. Give it up right now for Joon Chung.
Hello. Hey everyone. What's up, Mike and Jenny?
Boom.
Gorgeous
I've
intro.
been going to physical therapy because I've just been trying to work out my legs, and yeah, I want to put on some disco shorts.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, I think physical therapy is sole purpose is to get you hot enough to wear disco shorts.
Do you ever feel like a hot guy, June?
When you say I'm a married guy, my wife makes me feel like a hot guy.
Yeah.
I love that.
And that's been a switcheroo in my brain. I think when I was
Right.
dating her, it is a huge brag, and I hope you find partners that make you feel hot, because I think I had a thing about my insecurities of looking a certain way and feeling hot or not, and feeling like when I'm dating girls, like, yeah, okay, they're attracted to me, I guess. But then she really made me feel like I'm beautiful.
Oh, wow. Whoa.
So then, because this person sees so much hotness in you, you start to believe the hype a little.
I love that.
And because it's the person you love, you're like, okay, I should believe the hype.
Right.
Yeah, of
That's
course.
such a good point.
I should be loved and thought of as a hot person.
That's that reminds me. Yeah. Earlier this week, my wife sent me we usually just text each other pictures of our son back and forth to each other. But today, you know how like Instagram or the iPhone shows you like featured photos. So
Yeah.
she
Yep.
saw one of me and she sent it to me. It was like me. We were just like eating at a diner somewhere, and she took a picture of me, and she's like, "Oh, you look really cute here," and I did.
Uh-huh.
I was
She
like,
was factually correct.
yes, I was like, confirmed.
Yeah.
But it was just like, wow, like she like looks through pictures of me sometimes, and she just, I don't know, like
And that makes a marriage a little spicy, you know?
It is.
Wow.
It keeps it hot.
it was.
I would like that someday.
was
I
like,
know. And I should do it more. I think she's better with the compliments. Just dishing some
I know.
like,
You have to
you
work
look
on
good,
it.
and you look great, and I got to be better about, you're pretty tonight.
Yeah.
You look great. Wow, your curtain bangs you just made look hot.
Wow, yeah.
She just got curtain bangs.
Wow, I
it's
love
a big
that.
deal.
Korean
Huge.
bangs. Is that what you said?
Curtain.
Curtain
Oh, curtain.
bangs.
I was like,
Very in.
oh, they are in.
Is your hair knowledge like zilch?
I have no idea. I thought Korean bangs sounds like curtain bangs.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's probably the same thing in my mind.
Yeah, probably.
They're like a 90s swoop in the front. If you see any, I think, actor
They're
from
very
that
in right
era.
now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like kind of Farrah Fawcett-y, like.
Fair, yeah, very fair
Oh,
faucet.
kind of 70s-y.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Jenny, we're gonna get you feeling good, okay?
Okay, cool.
Because I know you got some stuff this week we want to talk about.
Yeah.
We're just gonna kick it off that way, you know?
Yeah.
Jenny, what kind of Asian were you this week?
I'm going to frame it in a different way.
Okay.
Okay, wait, let me think. I was
Yeah.
suddenly has a lot of time on her hands Asian.
Oh, whoa.
And, okay, so I was part of the tech layoffs.
Yes.
Ouch.
So I found out yesterday.
Yes.
And I'm assuming I'm allowed to talk about my experience in this.
I have no idea.
I'm pretty sure I can.
Yeah.
But, you know, if anyone works in tech and you were part of this, I feel you. But I basically woke up yesterday at 7 a.m. for my ClassPass yoga class.
Yep.
And I woke up and then I saw my email and then I was like, what? and I have my work email on my phone. So then I was like,
Yeah.
I saw the email come through both emails, and then basically it was like, yeah, we don't have a place for you here anymore. And I immediately saw the New York Times kind of alert that's like 12,000 jobs are cut. And then I clicked my corporate email, just not thinking. I clicked it, and then I had no access anymore. And I was like,
Whoa.
oh, it's happened. And I was just like so confused because truly the day before I was like working on projects, you know? Not happily, but I was doing it.
Yeah.
Like annoyingly, complaining, like, oh, I can't believe I have to work on a deck.
Yeah.
And then, yesterday was really interesting. It was like a lot of people like texting and calling, being like, were you part of it? And then it's either like I was too, or like, oh, I'm so sorry. And like other, just like everyone like texting me. And I'm going to be honest, I feel fine. I didn't work that long this round. Like I worked for like 5 months.
Yeah.
That's like really nothing. Like I was like just getting to the point where I was taking things on, and then they're like, never mind. And I was like, okay. It makes sense. Like I'm like a new person, but it also sucks because it's like I just started figuring it out.
Right.
And also I want to do comedy, so I was like, whatever.
Right.
Maybe this is a nice little sign from the universe that I should write. So I like emotionally feel fine. I think the experience of it is weird as hell. Like it really is so weird to like be doing something one day and then just have it be like completely taken from underneath you.
Yeah.
And I've just never had that experience. And
You've never been laid off before?
No, I've never been laid off. This is my first experience with that.
Yeah.
You've been laid though, right?
I've been laid, not for a while, but
That's what the hotness is.
Dang.
But yeah, so that's just been like processing that the past day. Where I was not working for a year. Oh, when I started the podcast, I was working.
Right.
And so I've already done the whole thing of like learning who I am outside of work.
Yeah.
Like I've done that. Like that was a journey and I did it. And so I had a really pretty distant relationship to work emotionally. And so when this when it happened yesterday, I was like, yeah, that's whatever. It's fine. Like, I know who I am. Like, I know what my priorities are. What I really feel for is everyone who's about to start this journey now, which is a lot of my old Google friends, because I can feel everyone kind of spiraling right now.
So you have a bunch of friends who are Google people, and they were there for, I assume, from before.
Yeah.
So they've been there for a while.
I have like many friends who lost their jobs from every amount of tenure. One of my friends was there for 5 years. One of my friends was there for 17 years.
Oh, 17 years?
Yeah, like there were
and they just threw him in the trash, bro.
I saw someone who was there for 20 and like got the same email as me, same experience as me. Like,
wow.
It really was like wild. Because at first I was like, oh, I understand. And then I really feel for the people who like have had this for many decades in their life, like, and it was stable and it was like their community. Like, I feel really for those people because I'm like, now begins the hard journey of like figuring it out
and getting into improv 1.
Yeah.
Okay, that's gonna be so hard.
It's so much money now.
It's so much money. Good luck to all the Google people who are now going to go into improv.
I have a couple puzzles I could give you.
Yeah. Anyone who may be traveling to Thailand to do Muay Thai, full time. Good luck for that.
Truly. So I feel for those people more than I'm good
because you know who you are.
Yeah, and I like have another thing.
Yes.
Like a lot of people don't have another thing.
Yes.
And I have like this. Like I'm like, okay, so that goes, but my this calendar that you just read out, that's also my calendar. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I have other stuff that like is moving.
Yeah, for sure.
And so I'm like, now those people have to figure out what this means. And I was like, dang. And also a lot of people have kids. Like I just am like in a different world, I feel, when it comes to like responsibility. Cause I'm like, yay, I get to write my pilot now.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I'm at. Like, kind of, it's a weird experience. Everyone has been so kind. My mom kept being like, are you okay?
Yeah.
And like, we don't really talk like that much, but she was just like, I am so sorry. Like, she was so like soft and like, I mean, she's very soft, but like, she was like extra, just like, Jenny.
Yeah.
Like, and I was like, Mom, it's okay. Like, I'm fine. But yeah, I had that experience. So if you're going through that, I feel you. It's super weird.
Yeah.
Very weird. And I'm right there with you. But let's all write pilots.
Was there?
Let's read our pilots together.
So we're starting a pilot class, $500 per seat. So did Did a bunch of different tech companies all do it at once, like as like a freaking,
Yeah, I believe
really
Google and Microsoft was this week. I also know Vox had some layoffs.
Facebook,
then-
Snap.
Yeah, I think that
Wow.
they were earlier, and I know Amazon has announced they will be cutting like
Yeah.
18,000 jobs.
Right, I know that. That's interesting for
So,
sure. Definitely,
Tech is bad.
yeah. Our listeners are trend heavy into this sector. So
Yeah.
this means that you could probably listen to the podcast more. How about that?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Lend your ears to us.
Maybe we'll come out with two. We'll have an unemployment podcast too.
Yeah.
Where we just come out twice a week. One unemployment one, where we're just talking about improv one.
Yeah.
And whatever skills we're picking up that week.
Sure. I mean, I would love that.
June, have you ever been laid off? I guess you're a writer, right? So like things can kind of come and go.
I
with you.
get my contract was up, so I'd be let go in that way. So that's
Yeah.
laid off.
But I guess you know
but no,
that.
not formally.
Where it's like, yeah,
I got to transition to the next job each time.
Yeah.
Which I'm grateful for.
Right.
So I made good moves, I guess.
right.
Yeah.
And gut instincts of like, even in digital media, everything's cyclical. So everything's going to fall and rise. A lot of money coming in and all of a sudden a lot of money going out.
Yeah.
We're trying something new. It's not working. Let's fire everyone. So there are rounds like that. In your tech biz,
Yeah.
do your coworkers have a healthy relationship in terms of like, do they put a lot of their identity in their work?
I think that a lot of people in like 9 to 5 tech jobs definitely do. I
Yeah.
mean, like, I think there's like a culture in tech where it's just like, we're a family.
Is it self-importance or is it like you truly believe in the work?
I think a lot of people truly believe in the work.
Mm-hmm.
I think things shifted with the pandemic. To be honest, like I saw a lot of tech people like, oh, like life is so much more than this product I'm building.
Yeah.
That is going to revolutionize the world or whatever. The revolutionize the way we order our sandwiches. But I think the pandemic shifted things for a lot of people around me. But I still know that like there is an attachment in
Yeah.
terms of identity. And I think in general, we were talking about this before, like there's a lot of identity attached to work. I think there's also a lot of that, right? Like a lot of these people, it's like when you get asked, oh, like, who are you? What do you do? It's like the first thing you say is like, oh, I'm XX at Google or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
I think like I'm an engineer at Google and I work on
Yeah.
Android. Like,
Yeah.
okay, so I think once that's gone, it's like now you have to figure out who you are.
I try to
Outside of
avoid talking about work when I first meet people.
Me too.
And Singles Inferno is all about this, if you all are watching.
I haven't watched
Korean
it.
culture is so hung up on status. So instead of like, I don't know, it's about don't tell your age and don't tell what your job is. You can't talk about that
in order
until
to avoid all of the
status
hierarchy.
talk,
Right.
hierarchy, and then they go to something called Paradise where they could freely talk. And the first question is like, how old are you? How old do you think I am? What do you do for a job? And then you're like, whoa. You
Whoa.
do that?
Oh,
And
interesting.
then, they get a little more intimate, I guess, in terms of just emotionally.
Yeah.
You don't talk about you being a writer, like a TV writer, when you meet people.
When people ask, but I don't straight up just like,
Right.
hey, I write kids television.
Yeah.
I like talking about it more now.
Yeah.
I think before any creative stuff, everyone's a little more enamored.
Yeah.
Like, whoa, you get to live this life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did a stand-up show and like a high school friend came up to me. He was there, didn't know he was going to be there. And he's like, oh my God, he was drunk for sure. And just going, oh my gosh, I'm a pharmacist now. I have a Porsche, but you're living the dream.
You have a Porsche?
man.
Damn.
You're living the dream. I'm so jealous. I'm just like, what? You're telling me you have a Porsche, you have a successful job, yet he's crying to me that I'm creative. It's like a
Yeah.
lot of people put a lot of
Right.
projecting their own.
Oh, totally. The grass is always
Yeah.
greener too.
Yeah, this is not easy.
Yeah.
This is a constant, consistent struggle.
Right.
Yeah. I would deny all of you if I got a Porsche. That's how it would
What
be.
does deny mean? You won't even look at us?
Drive
Yeah.
past and stick a
Exactly.
middle finger. Drive by middle finger. Like,
Yeah.
you guys.
Actively beat us up.
Exactly.
But then, like, even for you, Mike, like, this makes me think, luckily, you were only there for 5 months.
Yeah.
So you were, like, getting your feet wet and then you jumped out.
Yeah.
Not by choice. But, like, this makes me think of marriage a little, where you have to, like, keep your self-identity a little bit.
Right.
And not glom onto
Yeah.
this other thing 100%. Or is that bad not going in 100%?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's a very millennial thing to, well, not really, but I feel in general, millennials we're kind of known for being like, we want a job that means something.
Yep.
You know, it can't just be, I work at I don't know, auto body shop or something like that.
Right.
Because I want to support the mission, and I want to feel like I'm making a difference and that sort of thing. So then you get caught up into like, I'm a good person because I was doing this thing, and then now that thing's not there anymore. So now,
how can I contribute to society?
right? How can I like line up with all the ideals that I have, or do I even have those anymore, or do they even exist? Whatever. I do feel I've been laid off before, and I will say that it was one of the most freeing things in my mind was thinking of myself as like a Ronin, where I just do. I told myself I just do this for money, you know?
Yeah.
I just do this for money. And it just made me feel a lot better, because then I was like very honest with like, this is work and I will try hard, but I do this for money. So if it's not working out, it's just because it's an economic transaction. It's not necessarily like, oh, I'm
a value judgment.
You know, like I think a lot of times, especially if you get laid off because of, you know, some performance issue, you're like, I'm a bad person.
Yeah.
You know, I'm lazy or something, right? But if you think of it as like, this is money, I owe you nothing, you owe me nothing outside of what was on black and white, our contract.
Yeah.
Then it's like, you know, you just feel like more of a badass, because you just be like, I don't give a fuck, you know? I can just leave any second, you know?
Totally. I mean, that's what the relationship I had. So I used to work at Google, and then I quit, and then I came back. But that's the second go around. That's exactly how I felt. I was like, this is just a way for me to have health insurance and pay my bills.
Yeah.
Because like, and if, you know, whatever, I'm just going to like do what I need to do here, and then I'm going to leave and go do what I want.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you have the bliss of not having a family or people you have to take care of right now, too.
So I'm just like, live, laugh, love, buying shoes for myself. I bought a lot of shoes while I was, in the 5 months I was here, so it was really worth it.
I'm imagining, or did you buy a bunch of live, laugh, love signs too?
No. I would never, and I can't even joke that I would. I would never.
What is the live, laugh, love for you? You know?
What it is for me?
No, I'm sorry. Yeah, what are the 3 words that you live by? If you had to put them up in your cool Brooklyn apartment.
Okay.
In neon, right?
Yeah.
Like it would be like, you know, some people
What would yours be?
Oh gosh. Jiu-jitsu for one.
Jiu-jitsu, fashion, and my son.
Yeah.
That's
the
Mike Venn diagram.
Yeah.
So good.
Let's see. Yeah, it would be like Neo, Jits, and
Jits
pants. I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
For
Taylor pants.
Jenny, what I know of you just from listening to the podcast.
Yeah.
Let's see. Emotions.
Oh, yes.
You know, emotions of all sectors. Getting out there. Right? I feel like it's been a evolution.
Yes.
Since I've heard you start on this podcast and where you want to go.
Yeah.
So emotions, evolution, we need another E.
Yeah.
Ecstasy.
Yeah.
Not even, that's the life part, I guess.
Yeah.
Not the drug.
That's
just
good. Yeah, I don't
living
really
it
do
out.
ecstasy. Yeah. Wait, I was going to say, I was going to put Shrek in there.
Why is it that, like, when I think of Shrek, that does work with you, Jenny? It's not like you look like Shrek.
No, but I love Shrek.
But you love Shrek, and you are kind of like...
Shrek vibes.
Kind of Shrek vibes.
You're an onion.
I'm an onion.
Yes.
I have Shrek vibes. Hilarious. Anyways, that was my week.
I love it.
Yeah. We need to hear about your week, so.
I do. But I want to say, if anyone, for our listeners, if you want to tell us what your 3 live, laugh, love words are, that's a fun one. 646-809-7231 is our voicemail box. We've been getting some voicemails. We're going to do them, I think, when it'll be an episode with Jenny and I only. So 646-809-7231. And tell us what the 3 words are. June, do you have real quick? Do you have any? What are your 3?
My 3 words?
Yeah.
Let me guess on yours. Hold on.
That's a good date question, by the way.
That's a really good.
You know, it's like, hey, what if live, laugh, love? If you had a plaque, what would it be?
I think like 70% of people would be like, ugh.
This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. Hey, Jenny.
Yeah, Mike?
Don't you wish that life had a user's manual?
That's every day of my life, Mike. I'm type A as hell.
I wish that life had a user's manual because then you could use the user's manual to figure out what to do with your life and help you solve problems. Unfortunately, life doesn't have a user's manual, but BetterHelp Online Therapy is basically the next best thing. That's because therapists are trained to help you figure out the cause of challenging emotions to help you learn productive coping skills. That makes therapy the closest thing to a guided tour of the complex engine called you.
If you're a listener, you know that I am literally the biggest fan of therapy. Therapy has helped me immensely. It's helped me understand how I think and has allowed me to live more authentically as me out in the world.
As the world's largest therapy service, BetterHelp has matched 3 million people with professionally licensed and vetted therapists, available 100% online. Plus, it's affordable. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to match with a therapist. If things aren't clicking, you can easily switch to a new therapist anytime. It couldn't be simpler. No waiting rooms, no traffic, no endless searching for the right therapist. Learn more and save 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/Asian. That's betterhelp.com/Asian.
That question, like, oh.
Yeah, I've been trying to tell single friends, like, what's your dating question, so you can,
Yeah.
not just go, what do you do for work? Not
Right.
bored. Right now, what is my things? Okay. Married, but not with family yet.
Okay.
Just trying to be single and like free.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So-
like no ties, but
Childless.
also childless.
Childless, one.
That's it.
You got nothing else going on, June.
Well, it's just more like, what do I stand for in my life right now? I want to create more.
Create.
Create's a good one.
Yeah.
Shrek, create. Sorry.
create.
Right, yeah.
And
Steal that.
I've been journaling a lot, so it's like on the page, but not in my head. So it's like a lot of
Yeah,
things.
yeah.
So it's so the 3 verbs. I realize they have to be verbs.
Yeah, create.
Create, marry,
Don't get pregnant.
journal.
Maybe,
Pull out.
Okay.
Journal, create, pull out.
Ironic that those two are on the same list. Create and pull out.
Hey.
That is the
beautiful.
inner struggle of my.
Oh my
my
God.
mind.
That's great.
It's funny because I did this work place exercise because we had this. We got everyone together, and then there was a human resources consultant, and she did this. It was like a work personality test, and it's called HBDI, I think, and it's how you work in the workplace.
Okay.
You're data driven and fact driven. You're a creative, big thinker. You're a doer, like schedules, and then the fourth one was emotional. That's how you are as a person. But then when you're under pressure, it's like, if you're the data-driven person, I think you're like unmalleable. If you're a creative big thinker, you wind up not doing anything because you're too midstream. The doer is too stuck in their process and can't get out of it. And then an emotional person just like breaks down because they can't emotionally handle what's going on.
I'm the last two.
But
yeah.
I have the creator, and
I'm the creator,
I think I have the creator and the doer battling in my brain. When I'm working for someone, I'll do all your stuff, but when I'm working for myself, I'll create, but then I don't want to do anything.
Yeah.
Oh, I understand that.
It's so frustrating.
Yeah. When it's
I hate being my own doer.
Yeah, you hate to do yourself.
But yeah, I hate doing myself.
Yeah, you hate doing yourself.
Make sure to don't forget when you're doing yourself to pull out. Okay.
Yeah.
We want the pull
Be
out.
safe.
That's important.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
How's your week, Mike?
Gosh.
What kind of Asian were you this week?
I was a fell off the wagon Asian because
Yeah, you really did.
I did. I'm doing dry January. Shouts to everybody who's trying to do that too. It's been pretty good. Yesterday, it was my friend's birthday, and I had stipulated in my contract
You did.
that I was going to drink on that day because it's his birthday. So I was like, okay, I will do that. And it hasn't been too hard, honestly. I've saved a ton of money.
That's the other part. It's expensive to drink.
I've saved a ton of money.
Yeah.
I find that I have more time to my day because I'm not sitting somewhere drinking.
Yeah.
And it really hasn't been too bad. But yesterday I went and I sat there with my wife and we were waiting for the rest of the group to show up, and we had a drink, and we were in this like cool Korean Park Slope restaurant, and the bar is like really like, it looks nice. It's like well done. It's kind of like I don't know, like purposefully kind of 90s-y in there, 80s-y in there. And I realized I miss sitting in a bar because maybe, you know, I'm a big thinker, you know? So it's like, I just like, why are you laughing at that? Why are you laughing at that?
It just is such a crazy place to put that. But yeah, go ahead.
Well, I'm just saying. I'm just saying I like to sit and I like to like.
Big thinker.
I'm a big thinker, okay? You guys can't even get on my level.
Yeah, you
all
probably
right?
won't even understand
Do
this.
you guys even know about Bitcoin? I think it's pretty big. It's going bad right now, but that's on purpose, everybody. Okay, it's big brain.
It's got to go down to go back up.
Exactly. Everybody, it's the choo-choo train is at the bottom of the hill. Everyone on board. Choo-choo.
Peaks and valleys, peaks and valleys.
So I like to sit and ruminate, you know? I
Yeah.
like to sit and just like have some like jazz going.
Sure.
But so I missed that. But I realized I can't, you know, there's no other reason to be in a bar but to drink. And so I'm trying to think of other things I could do. You know, like I'll drink the shit out of a whole bunch of coffee. I'll buy a bunch of coffee.
Yeah.
You know, and some bars will have coffee and I love that. But so I was just trying to think about what can I do in a bar that lets me ruminate without drinking. And I couldn't figure it out.
Read.
Yeah.
Yes, reading
Sure.
is
I think
cool.
people try. There are some weirdos that just like drink water and write at the bar.
Yeah.
Those
Are
are,
you?
those are the lifers.
The bar lets you just be there.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I want to support the bar. I don't mind paying for stuff. It's
Well, what
just
if you
like,
just get like a ginger beer?
yeah,
Is that
okay.
just not okay? Like
I don't-
for you,
well-
emotionally.
I think I could do that. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Just buy a lot of soda.
I have been drinking a lot more soda,
Yeah.
by the way. Yes. But it is weird because I've replaced drinking with dessert. And so, and it's just not the same vibe.
No,
Same.
not at all.
Sitting at a bar eating a cupcake.
No.
You're just sitting there just like, oh, what does it mean to be alive?
Yeah, and
just
then
like,
the bar people are like, "There's that guy who keeps coming in with a cupcake."
is that an ice cream cake that you bought?
But then you become Cupcake Mike. You know, you become the guy. And
You just own it.
it's about
Yeah.
consistency
Yeah, that's
and,
true. And a
being
brand.
friendly.
That
Yeah.
does,
about branding yourself.
Yeah, that does seem like something Kerouac would have done.
I could see if you took your hat off and just put a cupcake on your head. I could see that.
A big hit.
That's pretty good. So, anyways, that was me. I feel I drank a lot yesterday. I just like because we went karaoke and I
Yeah.
just kind of like turned it up. And it was a lot of fun. I feel fine today.
It is about 8 p.m. right now. That we're
It is
so.
8 p.m. and I am in my jammies. No, it feels pretty good. But yeah, that was me. So I'm back on the wagon for the rest of this.
It's only one more week, right?
It's only it's the 21st today, so we got like another
week and a half.
Yeah, it hasn't been that bad.
Yeah.
So
I'm doing dry January now too,
Yeah.
and I think I've gotten over the hump of like desiring the
yes,
drink.
the first, I would say, the big trigger for me, I think, was actually I had a show that it wasn't a bad show, but I was really stressed out about it, and afterwards I came home and I was like, I really want to drink, like right then.
Yeah.
That's okay because I'm learning a lot more about myself. I think this is the big thing because I think for a while I was like, you know, you have the Sunday scaries and
Yeah.
you're like, okay, I got to go and I'm going to have a drink on Sunday. And I was afraid of what would happen if I didn't have a drink. Does that make
Oh yeah,
sense?
Wait,
So
what? You were afraid of what would happen if you didn't have?
if I didn't have a drink, like would I get really like panicky?
I
you know?
see.
you
Because-
might, and you have to work
Yeah,
through it. I
right.
think.
through it.
Yeah.
Well, so the thing I've found is actually nothing happens. I'm just me and I'm just there. And
Yeah.
actually it's been fine because I have, you know, my family and my clothes.
Yeah.
My top 3.
Yeah.
So I've got that. So I've learned that. I've learned that I don't have to have it on a Sunday in order to get through the week, which has been helpful. I haven't found that I'm much better without it. Does that make sense? Like some people are like, oh, I'm so much sharper, and I'm the same.
Oh,
I'm the
interesting.
same.
Interesting.
But you know, I guess that's a data point as well.
it's all data. It's all data
It's a
collection.
data collection.
It's not
Yeah.
same because you know you'll be hungover if you do get messed up, right?
That's true. That's
So-
true.
So empirically, it's better.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
for
you're
sure.
doing it too.
I'm doing
What's
it.
your do you drink a lot?
No,
Okay.
my wife wanted to do it because she felt like she was just going out every weekend, and it just felt like it was piling on with the holidays, and now it's like decompressing a little.
Yeah.
I'm normally not indulgent, so it wasn't like crazy hard. But it's always when you don't have it, you want it now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was at a
also
bar
winter.
yesterday and it was okay.
You went to a bar?
Yeah. Actually, Chris Donahue
Oh,
is
yes.
leaving for Texas. So this is all. I used to host the open mic
Right.
with him.
Oh,
This
my
is how
God.
I-
Just back in the
this
day.
is-
Oh, my
this is how I
God.
met
Oh,
Mike.
that neuron. Oh,
So,
my God.
For me, I feel like a full circle Asian this week.
Well, how's he doing?
He's
very, very
he's
quickly.
engaged.
Okay, cool.
And his fiance got a job out in Texas, and he has a few friends out there, so he feels like it feels like a okay move.
Yeah.
And he wants to start a family as well.
Wow.
I'm telling his business, but
Yeah.
He's getting
Put
out
him
of
on
the...
blast.
yeah. So Chris and I used to host an open mic in the East Village, or I guess
2A.
ABC, I guess, and that's where I met Mike for the first time.
Yes.
Cute.
And
Long time ago. When I first
he was
started.
he was so shy, so shy.
Was
I? He was?
Yeah,
Mike?
but he's wearing the loudest clothes.
Oh, from the beginning.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, he's wearing
Yeah.
these crazy outfits. I'm like, who the f is this guy?
What was I wearing?
I think you had a lot of like what I remember like parachutey pants.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Like
Wait, the
army.
first time I met Mike, I don't know if you even remember this. I met you in Asian AF like before the pandemic, and I remember the one thing was like you had huge glasses.
Yes, he had Edna
and then
mode glasses.
and then like bright orange beanie up
Yes.
to
Oh,
like,
yep.
but it wasn't like really on your head. I was like, I don't know how it's staying there.
Yep.
It's my
And it was
cupcake.
like very like streetwear.
Yes, I had my street.
I think I had a camo jacket.
I had a camo jacket.
Yeah, that was the vibe back then.
Yep.
Wow.
And I remember you telling jokes shyly.
Yes, I was very nervous.
And so recently, it was the first time I really saw Mike do a set, actually,
Oh, okay.
at Hack City.
At Hack
Yeah.
City.
And I had not seen Mike at a show proper,
Okay.
right? Because it's different when you're at
Yeah.
open mic. You're practicing, you're shy.
Sure.
And then now it's his show
Yeah.
at Hack City, confident, can talk about a lot of stuff in his
Yeah.
life. And it was really refreshing and really nice to see that he's grown.
Oh, it's like watching your child grow. You're like, oh,
No, not at all. I mean, it's just like
talks now.
Fumi, I met Fumi at that mic, like Brian Park
Oh,
at that
wow,
mic. Like
okay.
I would say I started with Mike and Fumi and
Yeah,
Brian
I would
and all
say
those
that's
guys.
true. Yeah.
So now I'm on this side and you guys are on that side. Here
Yeah.
we are. And life has changed however it goes.
Sure,
I'm
yeah.
I'm looking forward to more of like a Ken Jeong
Yeah.
revolution where yes, I'm doing stand up, but maybe when I'm like 45, something will happen.
Oh, I see.
You know what I mean? I'm just like laying down the foundation.
Yeah.
And maybe stand up. It's just a hard life. It's
It
a
is a hard
nighttime life.
It is a
not
nighttime
living
life,
away.
And it's definitely, you have to commit to it. And if you can't commit to it, you should get out and figure something else out,
I agree.
which I've done.
Which is why I can't ever.
But I want to do
Grind.
it.
It's
right?
like romantically, like it seems romantic, but also I'm like, when I see everyone's schedules, I'm like, they're doing shows every night.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they do. Yeah.
And it's late.
I feel rude dipping my toe in a little sometimes where I'm just like, oh, I'll just step in
Why?
and step out.
Yeah, you should.
I like it. Like no matter what I do, I'll like it. But in terms of like really trying, but it's not trying hard enough because look at their schedules. Like they're going for it.
Yeah.
Whereas I have a little bit of a fallback writing for kids television. There's always like if you are you got your eggs in another basket, you
Yeah.
tend to go to the other basket because stand up is hard.
Right.
It's a grind, and you're tired because you're sleeping at 2 a.m., waking up for your job the next day.
Yeah.
It's hard on the body.
Nah, you should do. My whole thing is, you got to do it the way
Yes.
that works for you.
Yes.
And
You
it's
know,
sustainable.
And sustainable for you because it's not be the best in the game. It's
No.
just be in the game.
Yeah.
Be in the game at all, and you're
Yeah.
going to be, I don't know the word successful because there's no such thing, but it's more you will find your thing because you're still in the game, and that's the most important thing. Who cares if you're going out every single night for like 5 years, and then at the end of it you fucking burn out, and then nothing happens. So you gotta stay in the game, baby. That's the
Yeah.
important
Stay
thing.
in the game because you're bound to get your shot a little better. You know, it's just a little bit better every time. But again, the doing.
yeah.
That's the hard part.
Doing.
I have so many ideas. I mean, that's with everyone that has a plan, idea, a
Yeah.
screenplay. But if you don't actually write it down,
Yeah.
there's nothing to show for it.
It's so real.
I glad that you brought up that's how we met, you and I, because I think we wanted to talk about male friendships. That was something you and I had
You know,
talked about.
that's not separate from why I reached out to you.
Yeah, so we've known each other for a while,
Yeah.
obviously from stand-up and doing different things. And then we didn't see each other for a little bit because you were doing other stuff, which is great. And then we reconnected. And if the podcast feels different for season 3, it's because of this guy.
Yeah.
Because
His feedback.
you and I had a long chat. You came and you watched one of my sets, and afterwards we were talking. And I feel I had a lot of tough love then, right there.
Yeah. I was being a uninvited producer.
Well, yeah.
I was note dumping like crazy.
Yeah.
You had a lot of thoughts, and it was very interesting. And it made me, I'll be honest with you, it made me spiral a little bit.
I saw it and I feel bad because I said so much. And that's not fair.
But
No,
I
that's friendship.
but yeah, it is. And I feel that, I don't know necessarily if all your notes were fair, but I do think it is good to be confronted with another aspect of yourself from some other point of view so that you can evaluate those things.
Yeah.
Because it is important to evaluate yourself and your content or whatever.
Yeah.
So I would say overall the net was positive.
Great.
But yeah, you were going to say...
I was going hard though because I felt like it was a transitional period
Yes.
between Fumi leaving and Jenny coming on board, and what does that mean for your show, the dynamic. This is all behind the scenes, by the way, the
Oh,
Asian
yes.
not Asian BTS.
It's very complex. A lot of players.
And I was trying to get more engaged with Mike just on like a comedic level.
Yeah.
So I also
Which I
wanted
always
to just
enjoy.
like, we had a chat one one afternoon, just had a coffee and a chat. And Mike was talking about his career, which was really vulnerable and nice to talk shop, essentially.
Yeah.
And then that made me feel comfortable to just say like, hey, here's a show. Here's how bad it is. All right, let's get it better, baby. No, it was just like little things just
Right.
On like a flow level, I guess.
Sure.
Not little, but it was a lot of, I was dumping a lot. And I left that night. I was like, why did I do all of that? I should have just said like 1 or 2 of them. But no, I think Jenny's been a great addition.
Oh my god, thank you. I
the
can't
show.
handle
That was the first
notes.
note. The first note was, Jenny is terrible.
I was like,
Yeah.
I can't handle the notes right now.
No, the immediate reaction I had when you started was like, the vibe is different.
Yes, it is.
Oh yeah, and I
Yeah.
said that from the beginning.
Very, very different.
There will be a vibe shift.
And
that is the secret. We have an episode 0 that we never released.
That's
never been
right.
Released, and we
it
talked
was a
about
practice.
vibe shift.
It was a practice episode.
Yeah, we did it on
you should
like.
always do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways,
It's wild how the ratio of dick talk to not dick talk is crazy apparent.
Yeah, I know.
When
I mean, I listened to one episode and like before when you called me and you asked me and I listened and I was like, oh,
yeah.
I can't talk about dicks like this.
no, yeah.
We did
then
talk about pulling out just now, though. So.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was
yeah,
like
yeah.
as far as I'll go.
But it's like it's not crass. It's just
Yeah.
Right.
responsible.
Yeah,
Right.
a responsible amount of dick talk.
Responsible dick talk.
But we're all humans, and that's our core. Procreating.
But what? So, yeah, you.
So yeah, with male friendships, I've seen my wife hang out with her friends and consistently plan things and going out and making sure she hangs out with them
Sure.
and stays emotionally engaged,
Yeah.
up to date with not just like their work life, but like how are they in their lives for real.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then I was getting a little jealous because I was like, wait, I have friends, but I haven't
Maybe.
talked to them in a while.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think I never really made friends in the stand-up scene because I didn't really engage as well. Like I was a little standoffish and just like how guarded I was. Maybe because like if I want to be friends with you, I don't want to just dip my toe in it either. And stand-up people are odd,
Yes.
to say the least. You don't know who to trust in some ways with your
I
emotional
understand
baggage or your selfhood.
Totally.
Right? And I think I'm well adjusted enough where I don't want to bring in erratic energy into my life.
Yeah.
So I also am trying to protect myself in that way.
You
but
are
no-
surprisingly normal.
Thank you. Thank you.
What does surprisingly mean?
Well, just because again, when you meet stand-up people, a lot of them. I was I was on another podcast, and somebody asked me, would I ever date a comic? And no, but not necessarily because of like the proximity to work thing, but because I feel a lot of comics, especially people who are newish at it or, you know, in their 20s, they're using stand-up to go work through something. And there's a lot of working through that, and the stand-up is that's happening. And I feel like I wouldn't be able to be with someone who was doing that, you know, like
On
in
the stage?
not even
And
like
not with you?
not even that. It's just like that they're doing it in that way, like processing it via stand-up and like learning. So it's like learning about themselves, but then also doing this really weird art form. So I feel that kind of person is not like going to be susceptible to like a good relationship. I don't know. That's my
interesting. For me, if I were to be asked that question,
Yes.
mine would be like, I think where my biggest block is like the weird competitiveness of
Yes, I can see
weirdly
that
being
too.
funny enough. It's like you're not on stage, but it's like in conversation. Sometimes it gets to a point where I'm like, what is this? Like, why are we all trying to like be like, but I'm also funny. So like, let's
Yeah.
do
You're
this
saying
joke.
that's what happens if you dated a comic? Or
Yeah.
have you dated a comic and that's happened? Or that's your
No,
fear
or
of
I've
dating a
dated,
comic?
I've never dated a stand-up comic.
Okay.
I'm not
Or
'cause
comedian types?
Comedian type, yeah. I'm okay with the comedian type. I think I'm talking stand-up comic.
Yes, I would date an improver.
I don't know about that either, but it's a different flavor. It's for
Fair,
sure a different
fair.
flavor. And I also think writer is different flavor as well. But I think like stand-up specifically, I feel always like even more like weirdly performative and
yeah.
joke-based in
what you're
conversation.
saying.
That feels a little competitive at times where I'm like, what's happening?
Yeah.
I wouldn't date them only in fear of them becoming more successful.
Yeah.
And that's a real fear.
Then
That's
you.
definitely.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess any
That's definitely-
creative.
I think that's real.
There's
Yeah.
like a sense of jealousy.
Totally.
Of course.
Okay, but I want to go back to the male friendships
Yes,
part.
sure.
So is it so your wife has her own friends. I always have a question. Do you have like
I always
female
have a
friends?
question. That's Jenny's tombstone.
Always have the question. Do you have female friends, and do you sustain those, or were you like, so did you have that, and then did you like actively want to like really focus on male friendships?
I had girlfriends, female friends, during stand-up time, and then like a few years ago, and then we all sort of disbanded because people got families or they moved. Recently saw them because we were all like, let's get together, and it was really fun because these are people I grew up from childhood. So it was
nice.
just like guards down. It felt like back then again because I actually had dated someone within the friendship group.
Okay.
So I
Oh.
felt a little like
Yeah,
weird, and
yeah.
now my wife's in the circle,
Oh,
and
shit.
she's still in that friendship circle. But then we met up recently, and it was all cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
She was laughing at her thing. She was laughing at
But you know, under the table, they both had the guns pointed.
Yeah.
You know, like
I was
fucking
looking
Yeah.
for it.
Inglorious
I was looking for
Bastard style.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Oh no, she's using the wrong fingers.
it. But luckily, I think people have grown up past me personally, and then my ex gone through her own things.
Right.
I would imagine. Not that she's thinking about this. But then that was really nice. But yes, I would say female friendships, not as much on text here and there, but I don't have that many close female friends in that way.
Got it.
And the male friends that I do, I made them in the last like 2012, like 10 years, like post college.
Yeah.
So I met them later in life, and I want to keep them close
Yeah.
and make sure they don't fall off in my life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because some of them live in Staten Island, so like logistically, sometimes it could be hard, even though it's Staten Island. And then,
But it's Staten Island.
You know, you gotta take I literally have to take every mode of transportation to get there.
Yeah.
Right. Helicopter.
Helicopter, boat, airplane,
Alpaca.
penguin, and that's one thing. So really actively trying to meet up somewhere. We always try to throw random parties, like, hey, come over, rather than like a formal let's get together, because I think you need to do that as adults.
I think dudes for sure. Like it's hard. Like we can't just have a. It's harder for us sometimes to just be like, hey, what you doing? Like, come, you know, hang out. Especially as you get older, it always has to be like, we're doing steak night.
Yeah, like an
That-
activity based.
Yeah,
That's
it's
what
definitely
fucks up.
activity based, but also I want to grow up the friendship a little.
Yeah.
Not so it's just like we're college roommates and it's like, hey, come
Yeah.
on over.
Yes.
Which is cool still. But, you know, I've been a little more proactive in telling people in the friend group, like, hey, let's do more stuff.
Yeah.
Just planting that seed and catching how they feel. And they all seem game for it. Whether
Yes.
we plan to do it or not is one thing. But at least, hey, let's be active about hanging out more or like setting stuff up with each other.
Would you ever call someone to talk about stuff?
I do.
That's good.
Because my friend Manny, who I did Super Secret Show with, and Mike Brick, and these are they were my groomsmen, they were my best friends, and they, just having like a very prolonged podcast. If it's like you're just getting together and hanging out.
Yeah.
That's why I've connected with them so much too, because I think I can talk emotionally and want to talk emotionally. And it's so different talking to your male friend than a female friend.
How so?
They just get you. Well, also because I think Manny and Mike came up together doing the stand-up thing, or like they're intertwined memories. And then you get to be dumber with each other.
Sure.
On just laugh a lot louder about the dumb stuff that I'm sure female friends have with each other.
Sure.
When they start talking about stuff, I'm like, oh my God, my ears hurt.
I actually think when what I've seen with my wife, when she talks to her friends, they get smarter. they talk about their feelings in a way.
It's so much more nuanced. This is once again so generalized, but in general, I find that it is so much more nuanced than like every time I talk to a dude, especially a straight dude. It's just like dumbed down.
I want to know what you think as an outsider, as a observing male friendships.
Yeah.
Jess, Tom, we were hanging out with them, and they had a really interesting point about how straight guys really don't care about other people. We never think about other people's feelings when we do stuff. We just do stuff, and then and then later
there's
on,
a freedom to that.
So, and I was like, oh my gosh, you're totally right. I can never think about. It's been a long, hard process for me to think about other people's feelings, mainly my wife's feelings. When I'm doing stuff. But I wanted to know if you had a similar kind of observation about the way that us. Drones, as I call it, talk to each other.
It's just funny because I feel like a lot of men want connection, emotional connection, but don't know how to do it.
No.
And it's like, and then oftentimes it's like, I need a girlfriend. It's like they go direct to their partner to have that connection, and then they don't have it elsewhere. And I'm like, what is that? It's so fascinating. Whereas I find so much connection in my friendships.
Yes.
But it is interesting, if you were to hear my conversations with I just talked to one of my best friends. We call each other every day. She lives in Greenpoint. We're all in Brooklyn. We're just very good friends. We were talking about we always go, how are you feeling today? Every day we do a feelings check.
Yeah.
And it's 15, 20 minutes, but just to check. If you heard that conversation, you would be like, oh my God, this probably would have thought it was exhausting. But it is that where we know the words to break things down and stuff like that. And then I'll no offense, Mike, we'll talk. And then I'm Mike's I don't know. I'm just feeling whatever. And I'm cool. Every week somehow it's always that when I see you.
I feel you know what it is. Sometimes I feel like I don't want to bore anybody, or
I think
a lot
it's
of times
probably a way you want to make sure you want to present yourself in the right way instead of bringing your guard down and I think you're concerned about I don't want to I don't want to be boring. I don't want to be annoying.
Yes, I don't want to be annoying. Because my problems are every single day is the same problem.
Sure.
I live in New York City, and I am unfortunately a comedian.
Yeah.
It's those are the source of my problems is right there.
But it's interesting because I'm why don't you just I wish I could see more men be vulnerable and be I don't know, I'm not feeling great about myself or whatever. But I don't hear that type of conversation between men, at least in what I observe.
No, you're right. There is Ben Kim who has co-hosted on here as a guest co-host. He's the one dude he's one of the few people I talk to a lot, but I text him. And a lot of times we're texting each other, hey man, what do you think of these shoes? And we just go back and forth. And that's our language of going back and forth. And I do talk about I'm not feeling good about this or whatever. So there is that, but yeah, it is unusual, I think, to call for me to call another dude and be hey, I'm not doing so good or whatever. I don't know. What do you think?
Regular check-ins is probably helps.
Yeah.
With people, whether you need to put so much weight on it, it's I need to dump all my stuff.
Yeah.
But then if you regular meet these people, your friends, I think it naturally you wind up wanting to talk about other stuff.
Yeah.
Hopefully, that's not always the case, but it comes out in certain ways. Like men just don't need to talk about it a lot of the times.
Yeah.
And then just literally hanging out is a big deal
Yeah.
to get away from problems a little
Yes.
bit.
Yeah.
So there's that dynamic for men who might be more emotionally stunted and just need to just vibe with someone, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that is a big freedom. And just like I think makes them more childlike and get back to a more comfortable place
Yeah.
sometimes, acting dumb. Because you don't have the pressures or something. That's what could happen.
Right.
Emotionally talking to friends, though. I mean, the dichotomy is I can talk about my feelings if you just ask me. But I think a lot of times I'm not asked.
Yeah.
So I kept it in and would think about it a lot. And my wife, has helped me just to make sure I express something before it becomes problematic
100%.
and a problem for her or a problem for both of us. Like the prime example was we were doing our wedding invitations when we were doing that, and I was unhappy with the design.
Yeah.
But I said I was unhappy right before we were trying to send it out.
Yes.
And that was the big fight of just like, why did you
Right.
not bring
Why
this
didn't
up
you wait?
earlier?
Yeah.
But I was like thinking about it
Yeah.
the whole time and didn't bring it up. And then now I'm trying to just tell her things as they're happening
Totally.
live.
Is it because you didn't want to avoid conflict?
I'm a conflict avoider,
Yeah, I think a lot of men are.
which is ironic because we always want to fight.
Yeah. But I want to use my fists.
Yeah. Conflict avoiding. Yeah, I don't know where that comes from. A core memory is seeing my mom in her car dropping me off. She gets rear-ended by like a huge SUV. Like they were both parked, so it was like a 1-foot rear end.
Right.
But it was such a huge car. She was in the sedan. So it's like a jerk,
Right.
a whiplash. I saw it happen. I was, I don't know, under 10 because it was elementary school. Instead of like making sure she was okay, I walked into the building like everything will be okay. Everything will be
Right.
okay.
Because it's right.
And
Yeah.
it freaked me out. So that's weird.
I think
Yeah.
I think a lot of people like, I would say everyone, I think, and I had to learn this too, is like we just think of conflict as bad.
Right.
But it's not bad.
But-
especially like if you're on the same team, it's like we should work through this together. If you care enough.
I feel that's something I've seen my wife with her really close female friends is
Yeah.
that they will have whole periods where they're like feuding with each other.
Sure.
And that's like part of it. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm not talking to this person right now. I'm like, aren't you guys best friends? I was like, yes. And she just accepts that this is like part of the cycle of it. And
Yeah.
you get
Yeah, I
upset
don't
at
get
each
that.
other, and then you come back, and it goes back and forth, and you talk to the
And you
other
talk it
friends.
through.
Talk it through.
Yeah.
Whereas I feel with dudes, it's like if somebody is like bothering me a lot, then I'm just gonna stop talking to him, and then that's the end of the friendship.
I
you
know. And then I'm like, but did you not care about the person enough to try to even improve the experience?
No, I am uncomfortable.
It is really uncomfortable.
Right? So I mean, how do you teach us? You know, like
I know.
what do we do?
I dated a guy and he had no male friends, and his best friend, he had like one, and they barely talked. And I was like, I don't think this counts. Like,
Yeah.
I was like, what is friendship if it's just like once every 3 months you're like, text them like, what's up? I'm like, that's not friendship
Right.
to me, really. And then he'd be like, oh, but all my friends were like women. And I was like, that's cool, but it's probably because they're asking you, how are you doing? And so it's like a lot easier.
And I think that's why I'm friends with who I am. They may not all be talky,
Yeah.
but they actually express themselves in very like they're fully themselves all the time.
Yeah.
There's
Yes.
no barriers. There's a type.
Yeah.
Like, it's almost like they're sitcom characters in a way. Like, I know you're being your true self, and that's very vulnerable in that way.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't think they realize that they're being their true selves, but it's nice that they feel like they can be themselves.
Yeah.
And then you start feeling like, oh, I could be myself.
Totally.
So that's very comforting about this group of friends I've made in the last 10 years. And
Yeah.
again, he's grown up talking a lot.
Uh-huh.
And then I think through stand-up, we naturally have to talk when
Yeah.
we're doing that. And then my brother taught me, I had a huge temper when I was growing up. And
Oh, really?
he's 6 years older than I am. And he talked me down a lot. Understand my feelings. Why are you angry? So there's a lot of that of think before you act.
Yes.
A
Yeah.
bit of that. Maybe I act slow, but now I'm trying to act faster
Yeah.
with the feelings. And then now I'm working on this show that's all about talking out loud.
Uh-huh.
So, and my boss talks through his problems out loud in terms of like, we need to just like blah, 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 talk it out so that it reveals how you really feel about the thing or how you want the project to go or the script or whatever.
Right.
So I've been learning like, okay, talking out loud is not a bad thing. It's just like working through your process in your mind, and then someone else now understands where you're coming from, so they now can react in a way that's helpful rather than guarded or like, what are they feeling? They're not really telling me. I think they feel like this. They don't have to guesswork anymore.
Yes. 100%.
Jenny, what do you
That's
think?
literally what therapy is.
Oh my God.
It's like when you communicate what's going on up here, it's just so much easier for people to connect with you, because then if you skip the part where you're not talking about the in-between and you just come out of it 3 weeks later being like, this is the, like,
Right.
you just like are presenting the conclusion of whatever it is.
You didn't show your work.
Yeah, you don't show your work. It's hard. It's like people can then assume like how you got there. Like people create their own stories of like, oh, that you said that because you hate me.
Right.
Instead of like, no, I'm thinking about these things and this is why I'm doing this.
Yeah.
Instead of like assigning meaning where you didn't like fill in the space.
And I just thought of this right now. It's like when you're writing a script and you think it's great.
I see.
You're writing it. And then you read it. You're like, wow, this is a piece of shit. Like when someone else reads it out loud, you get to hear it.
Right.
Then you finally go, oh, this is not right at all.
Yeah.
Or that's right. And it's weird how that works. You think in your brain, everything you think in your brain is fine. And then when you actually say it out loud, there's like a certain power to it.
Yes.
Or maybe when you're making a podcast for years and then your buddy comes and talks to you and gives you a lot of notes on it and makes you realize what a piece of shit you are.
I think Mike had a lot of fear of his own creativity at that point.
Wow. What does that mean?
Where you were like scared of what you were putting out. Is it good enough?
Yes.
Like, are my instincts right?
Yeah.
Which is scary for any creative thing that you're doing. And I think when we talked that afternoon, even about your stand-up, you're like, is this right? Am I doing it right?
Totally.
I gave him notes back then, too, about his TikToks, actually.
Yes.
Well,
I actually appreciate that as well.
We've
And now
also
I don't do
talked
TikTok.
Well, we've also talked about social media because we would talk about this
Yes.
and very similar questions would come up. And I was like, Mike, you got to just do what you want to do.
I recently thought and think about it all the time. I feel like I'm a boring person.
What?
In terms of like, I feel like I have to observe and have an opinion. I know it's my opinion, but like, does that make a person? And then, I don't know. I just feel my life. Yeah, so that's where the creative stuff, where I want to create more and really just put it on paper and see what comes out.
Well, what does it have to do with you being?
Yeah,
a boring person?
yeah.
What do
Let's
you
go
mean?
back to the boring person.
Because I kind of think like that. I am like that too. But
Like
it's
me,
not
I
kind of.
feel like people talk about being the protagonist of their own story. But I feel like I'm the extra on the bench, like just like looking over, like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
But then I'll write about
I used
it.
to think.
I'll write about it, and then it's in the newspaper of the movie. But not.
I see.
I don't necessarily think I. Who knows? Bring a lot to the table. I'll say that out
Really?
loud.
Wow.
This is the same thing where you.
That's
were-
literally what I just worked through.
Yeah, you were saying that you didn't feel like you didn't feel like you had main character
Energy or
yes.
energy. Like I was always like, this is pre-therapy. Like
Whoa.
I felt the same way. I was like, my life is boring. I'm boring. Like I don't really have opinions. Like there's some people who are really opinionated. I'm like, I'm not that. I'm kind of like quieter, blah, blah, blah. And then I started going to therapy and I was like, oh, I am the main character if I just let myself be it.
I think when you can write something and it flows easily, not to say the structure isn't hard or etc., but like writing characters that you're basing them on and then just writing that person, I think is going to be really freeing that I want to do. I think it's bizarre, like I'm writing on this show about a young black girl and her family, and then I wrote in another show that was about like a Korean adjacent character, and that was so easy.
Yeah.
There's something about seeing them and writing as them, even though they're not me, but just like being able to just access that stuff was
Yeah.
like really freeing and fun.
Yeah. I can understand that.
Yeah.
It's like then you once again aren't thinking about who you are, what your point of view is, just thinking about what their point of view is.
Yeah,
right
there's
from
that.
there.
But that's where the stand-up thing, it's like now is what I'm saying important enough, which I think a lot of stand-up
I mean,
should struggle with, right?
you and I had that conversation. Like, why should anyone care?
Right, should anyone, yeah.
Care about what I have to say?
Yeah.
Because I feel sometimes with the boring thing is like I'll see other people and they, oh yeah, I used to be addicted to heroin, and then after that I became a circus, performer. And
I think I know someone from San Ann that's like that.
exactly, and I'm just like, well, I tried really hard in my AP classes, but
Yes.
I only got a 3, so not even a 5.
Yeah,
on
but
my
your
AP.
life doesn't have to be inherently weird or different. It's actually almost better to have some if you can make your life experiences interesting. I think that's the best thing.
Well, the biggest thing I've found so far.
It's so funny that you say that.
Yeah.
I'm laughing because I relate to it, and it's so effed up because you think it's not a big deal,
Yeah.
and I wouldn't think it's a big deal. Also,
Right,
yeah.
right. But that's what I'm saying is,
Yeah.
I think, it's just like when you're writing something. Like the more specific it is to you, the more relatable it becomes to everybody else, because everybody kind of feels they end up relating to it in some way.
Yeah.
And then the other thing, and this is after we talked, and I had a lot of spiraling happen, but you have to to do stand up better. I found that you have to talk about stuff you care about.
Yeah.
If you care, then the audience
Yeah.
goes, "Oh, he cares. I will care too, because
Totally.
this is clearly important." And then you end up, if you say something, you could say the craziest shit ever, like I jumped out of an airplane and and was chasing a llama or something. But if you do it in a way where it's like, who cares? You don't care about it, then no one will care about it. But if
Yeah.
you're like, "Oh my God, this fucking AP test was fucking crazy," everyone's gonna be like, "Yo, tell me about this AP test."
Yeah.
right.
And now you're like,
Totally.
now I'm like really
That's
into
true.
it. What's going on with this AP test? There's now lots more people who have a lot more free time.
I was gonna say layoffs. Say
Because
it.
of the layoffs, because of the layoffs, and maybe they're trying to figure out where they
Land.
land, what's important to them, or I mean, think about it this way: how many rom-coms and movies start with "I got laid off"? Right?
Yeah.
There's so many things. I mean, I started stand-up because I got laid off.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I got laid off from a job in advertising at McCann, and the next day, actually that same day, I saw a sign that said, "Oh, open mic at this bar," because and I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna try to do that." And 8 fucking years later,
Yeah, look at
here
you.
I fucking am
Your whole life is derailed because of it.
in this windowless box.
That's why I'm like, everyone just like believe that what you say, like you deserve to take up space and talk about stuff. Some people take up too much space for sure.
Yeah.
That's a different conversation about
a
self-awareness.
different
But I think there's a lot of people who feel that way. Like, who cares what I have to say or think
Exactly.
or whatever? And I'm like, people care.
And this is my wife's family. They constantly let out their feelings and talk out loud.
These are Koreans?
Koreans. These are
Wow.
Well, maybe they're from Jeju. Those guys are different.
they actually
Jeju
grew up in
Island.
a lot of them grew up in the U.S.
I
post
see.
past 15 years old
I see.
or like younger, and they're definitely Americanized in a lot of ways. But her family is total opposite of my. I call my family. There's passive aggressive. My family is aggressive passive. And her family is like just aggressive.
Yeah.
Right.
Like 6 conversations happening at the same time.
Yeah.
There's only 2 people. And just voicing everything. They're super active on their group chats.
Yeah.
And just in each other's business constantly.
Yeah.
And it's great to see because even my dad recognized it because my parents are both from big families. I was like, they're crazy. He's like, oh, they're just really close.
Totally.
And he immediately got it. So that's been a learning experience of forcing myself to talk.
Yeah. Everyone
because-
needs to talk.
Yeah, because Heather's used to it too.
Yeah.
I gotta say, I was thrilled when you asked me to be on this podcast.
I hope you're having fun because it's about to end. But
I will say, I didn't feel nervous at all. Because
Good.
Good.
when you feel like
why should you feel nervous?
because you want to perform,
Yeah.
or like put on a show,
Yeah.
but it's like
It's just a conversation.
yeah,
Yeah.
but that's probably partially because I've done stand up at least.
Yeah.
But if you're someone new doing this, probably a little thrilling, right? like heart palpitating.
I hope so.
I don't know.
I don't know if we've ever had like we should have more what I would call civilians on here.
You want to?
I want to have more civilians.
Yeah.
People who are not in the creative field, who are just like, just regular schmoes, but who need to have their voices heard as well.
Wow.
They're magical people.
As long
in
as
New
they're
York,
interesting.
Everyone, well, not everyone is interesting, but I do feel that you can make a lot of things interesting if you care about it.
That's true.
So
That's a gorgeous way to wrap things up.
yeah, Jenny, we're gonna keep following you on your next thing, you know?
Yeah. Well, I'll be here every week, and I don't hold back. I literally start with like, okay, here's everything going on.
This is great.
Radical transparency. Someone DM'd me and said, "Thank you for your radical transparency," and I don't remember your name, but I saw it. Thank you for DMing me. It's very sweet.
That sounds like a Christian term, radical transparency.
Yeah.
It does sound like that. Yeah. That's what happened to Jesus's body. Radical transparency.
He went up to heaven. That's right.
Boom.
Nails go right through
my
his
God.
hand.
Who's the original radical transparency? Jesus.
They always say
Who's
that.
the original radical transparency?
Who is the who cares
I've been
about
to
grammar?
retreats.
Yeah.
They go, who's the real revolutionary? Jesus. Who's the real radical? Jesus. So
Oh,
This is a Christian podcast.
Go
no,
against-
I feel-
Swapped it on y'all.
I
Quo.
feel a little ill.
Joon, thank you for coming on the show. I feel we have a lot more to talk about. We'll have you back on.
Mm-hmm.
I feel I liked your energy, man. Just coming in here, we were just like, look at me, sober again, and just hanging out, talking,
Can you believe it? I
and
can't.
it was nice.
I would love to have 6 packs of cigarettes, 2 shots of whiskey next time.
Yeah.
Well,
Get really gritty.
you know,
Yeah.
you're working on your male friendships,
That's
so
right.
feel free to text me, and we can do this again.
I do wonder if we can hang out, you as a married man with child.
It's harder to do, but I've realized that the male friends I have, this is one last thing I'll say, they're all Korean. I don't know why.
You
You-
have a type, Mike.
I
and
do
it's
have a
Korean.
type. Oh, dude, I love Korean guys. Just fucking love. They all have great hair, great beards. A lot of them have great beards. But, anyways, Joon, where can our fans find you and your work?
I'm at the Jooniverse, JOONIVERSE.
Any projects you want to promote? Anything they can find you at?
If you have any children between the ages of 4 and 7, I'm working on a show on PBS called Lila and the Loop, but it won't be out until 2024.
Cute.
Okay.
If you're in the New York area, hopefully I'll have a play by mid-year. And then
Amazing.
You can all come.
Incredible.
That'd be great.
Watch
That'd be
it.
great. You can always find the podcast on Instagram at Asian Not Asian Pod. You can find me on Instagram at Nice Pants Bro.
And me at January Moto. Send me those DMs.
Send me those DMs. We love your radical transparency.
Yes.
And until then, we'll see you guys later.
Bye.
Bye.